Okay, so a little while ago I had a package come through from the guys at Easy Robot, and this was it. This is the Easy Robot developer kit, and I'm going to open the kit up. There was an extra piece put in here which I'm going to sneak out of the way, and I'll go into that in a little bit. Now, Easy Robot provide with everything: a start guide, couple of stickers, but in here we get a series of cables, we get a bunch of exciting stuff. Now, what I'm going to do is very quickly go over what's in the kit, and then we can take a bit of a closer think about what we're doing. Now, there are, inside, we have 6 servos, 1, 2, I think these are all the same size. So we've got a series of servos which can connect to the EasyB. So 6 servos. We have the power connector for the EasyB. So this is basically just the base which will allow us to connect the EasyB together. So there's our EasyB, and we can connect that over the top, and that's our robot controller. Then there is a battery pack. This battery pack will allow us to run the whole system from basically a 9-volt source. So we can take this and we can create our power supply, which we would feed into here. So unlike the lithium ion powered bigger kits, this can actually be charged by either, or powered rather, either by AA's or AA rechargeables. So that's quite a neat thing to be able to do. Here we see a whole bunch of pieces which will allow us to connect onto our servos, and this is quite a plethora of stuff that they give. You have, what are these? These are 6-sided. You have a 4-sided adapter, you have a single-sided adapter, and obviously you've got all the screws, bolts, washers, bits and pieces to be able to go on there. You've even got the piece to be able to connect wheels onto it, and the kit itself actually includes some wheels. Now these are kind of useful because just because they're motors doesn't mean they're actually used for necessarily driving something along. The servo motor you can use to be able to open, either open a door or move a flap or do all kinds of crazy things. And one of the projects that we were thinking of looking at was trying to develop a smart home based around the EasyB controller. So we can have things like opening doors, we can have opening curtains, blinds, that kind of thing. We can use the I2C connectors on here to turn on LEDs, so we can do lighting, we can do door activation, we can do a whole bunch of stuff. There are wheels provided, so series of wheels with quite heavy duty tyres, 2 nice chunky wheels. Then there is this wonderful device. Actually is there's more of the servo pieces. Move those over there. But this piece can actually be used with the power supply connector, so we can take that, connect it to here. That gives us our adapter, and that will then plug in to be able to power everything. It would equally be possible to use a stabilized power supply to run the whole thing directly. So we could put that into a mains electric socket. We also have a camera, and this is the same camera that you would see in the any of the Easy robot kits. Which means that we can plug this in to the video feed, and we can then get access to all those wonderful cognitive services pieces. So for instance, if we were going to do our smart home, we could tell it to recognize people. We could tell it to, this is Bob coming to the house. Sorry Bob, you're not allowed in, so it won't let you in. Or this is Lucinda coming to the house, it knows Lucinda, so it will open the door, or even just move the latch so the door can be opened. On top of that, if we were to build some kind of a roving vehicle, we could build something that was able to see and tell us what it can see. So it would be able to wander around and take a look and keep feeding us information, and if it saw something important or interesting, or a celebrity say, it could take a picture and send that to us. So pop that camera back in there safe, because it's quite a tidy thing. Also in here is this, which looks like a pair of eyes. In actual fact, it's not eyes, it's audio. It's a proximity detector, and we could use this on a vehicle, for instance, if we had the camera at the front. So you have a camera at the front looking where it's going, seeing what's happening, and if it comes up to something, it may well be that it needs to go away or back away from it. Well, you could put this on the other end, and it would be able to detect how close things were behind it. Or you could even use this, if you were working with vehicles, you could use this as just simply as an obstacle avoidance. So it's quite a handy thing. Another cable in here, extension cable for, I'm not sure, and then there's another cable. So there's a whole bunch you can do with this. The nice thing about the kit, as a developer's kit, is you're not necessarily constrained like you would be perhaps with Vex or Lego or something like that. In that if you have access in a school or an organization to a 3D printer or a CNC workshop or even a wood shop, you could actually build anything you wanted with this. You could build any kind of vehicle, you can add more sensors to it, you can pretty much do anything you want with this. I will just say that although it's only comes with 6 servos, there are actually 24 channels of digital I/O. So you can put 24 servos directly onto this controller. Which means, for instance, if you wanted to, you could build something like a 6-wheel drive vehicle with an arm and a grabber that operated through 3-dimensional space, and potentially a lift or something like that, and still have at least a dozen channels left to be able to do things with. There's 8 analog inputs, so you have one input to the analog side. You could add in there, you could add light sensitivity, a light meter, you could add a temperature meter, you could add pretty much anything that you could think of, you could add into there. You've obviously got your 3I2C, which is your high-speed serial connector, so you can add a whole bunch of stuff to that. On there you could put in anything from LED arrays to sounders to pretty much anything. And of course you have the proprietary camera input to give you all the vision services. So it's the same board that you would find in an adventure bot or in JD, so it has all the same capabilities. It gives you the option to be able to use the Microsoft Cognitive Services, so you can make an intelligent vehicle or an intelligent system, and it's all just so cool and not horrendously expensive.